everyone. My name is Lori. Welcome today. And today we're working on a sequence that helps the nervous system, helps the nervous system. It does a lot of poses around the spine to help us to relax, which we can all use a little bit of that, right? So let's close our eyes or a little light eye gaze down and just start to notice your breath. Shoulders over ribs, ribs over hips. Check your ears. Are your ears in line with your shoulders, right? So you're nice and tall. Just notice the breath coming in and the breath going out. Don't try to do any special breath. We're just trying to notice what's there. Start to notice where you feel your breath. Do you feel it in your chest, your throat, nose, belly, sides of the body, back? Where do you feel your breath? Is there any rhythm to your breath? Is it even or erratic? Let's try to tune into that for a moment. Now starting at the base, let's work on a three-part breath here a little bit. So we're going to expand the belly all the way around, breathe in through the nose, exhale through the mouth. So let's try that a couple of times. Let's let it out. Now expand the belly, expand the ribs like fingers wrapping around the back. Breathe in through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Like filling up a pitcher of water halfway now. Now expand the belly, expand the ribs, breathe into the heart center, breathe in through your nose, and as you exhale through your mouth, just gently close your mouth. Relax the jaw, relax the facial muscles. Now we're filling up the pitcher of water all the way up now, from the bottom to the top. Expand the belly, expand the ribs, breathe into the heart center, breathe in through your nose, exhale through your nose, mouth gently closed. So this big breath you're taking, this is the breath you want to take to the poses we do today. If you can't take that big breath, that means you're too deep into the pose and should back up a little bit. So come off the blocks if you are on the blocks. And we'll just bring the arms up. Take a breath in and a breath out. Palms up, inhale. Exhale, palms down. Follow the rhythm of your breath. So bring your left arm up. Take a breath in. And then exhale to the right. So we're trying to line up the shoulders the best we can. So if you might need to come up to do that. You can put your hand behind your head, bend your elbow, or hand back to the hip if it hurt your shoulder, right, or your neck. Go ahead and bring the arms up. Take a breath in. And we'll go to the left. Exhale. Really trying to bring that right shoulder back, right ribs back, so everything's in line. Come up, take a breath in. And we'll go to the right. Left hand on right knee, right hand behind. Start from the bottom. Belly, ribs, chest, shoulders, and then the head. Grip your fingers behind you. Take weight off the wrists. If it hurts your neck to look over your shoulder, just look to the side. Notice your breath. Bring the arms up, take a breath in. And we'll go to the left, exhale. Belly, ribs, chest, shoulder, and then the head. So try and be right on top of those sit bones, so shoulders over hips, lengthen spine. Let that go. Bring the hands behind, point the fingers behind, and take a deep breath in. Belly, ribs, chest. Open the heart towards the sky. So you could look up or you could kind of look forward, whatever felt good for you. Grip your fingers behind you. This is a good one for building a deep breath. So let's take a couple of deep breaths here. So you might pause at the top of the breath or pause at the bottom of the breath. See how that feels. Just a pause. And let that go. So let's go ahead and change legs, and we're going to do this on the other side. So left leg in front, or whatever leg you didn't have in front. Bring the arms up, take a breath in. And we'll go to the left this time, exhale. Remember, you can modify, right? Hand the back of the head or at the hip. Bring the arms up, take a breath in. We'll go to the left, to the right, exhale. So knit your ribs here so you don't get into a barrel chest. Ribs in the front. And bring the arms out, take a breath in. We're going to twist to the left, starting from the bottom to the top. Exhale and the twist. Shoulders down. And bring the arms over, take a breath in. And we'll twist to the right. Exhale. Back to center. Bring your hands behind you. Grip your fingers and take some of those deep breaths. Point the fingers behind you. Arch the upper back, chest towards the sky. Pause at the top and the bottom of the breath if you want. Let that go. Let's come on up to our hands and knees. I'm going to turn this way just to make it easier for you to follow me in some things. So we're in table pose here. So creases if your elbows face each other, knees underneath your hips. We're going to bring the right leg back and left arm forward, thumb up. So you can keep that foot on the ground while we go, round and straighten if you wanted to, or you can lift the leg up. Hollow out the body. Hollow out the body. We're going to stay here for a moment. Just breathe. Line up the shoulders and the hips. Top of the foot faces the floor. Hip is down. Take a breath in. Exhale, round. Tuck your chin. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen. And we'll go out to the diagonals on this one. Arm and the leg go out to the diagonals. And back to center. And come on down. Let's do a child pose in between. Big toes together. Set your hips back toward your heels. And relax a minute. This is a great pose to do at home. It's good for the lower back. It's good for insomnia. It's good for digestion. Try this in bed if you can't sleep in the middle of the night. It works, helps. All right, so come on back up. Bring the left leg back and the right arm out, thumb up. Remember, you can keep that foot on the floor if you want to. Hollow out the front of the body. Breathe. Go ahead, round and tuck the chin. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen. And we'll take it out to the diagonals with arm and leg. And then back to center. All right, so now we'll do puppy stretch. So we're going to bring, I'll show you this way. So we're going to have your hips over your knees. Walk your hands out. So your head is between your arms. So it's a modified puppy here, just a lengthened spine. And the hips are over the knees. Now if you want to go into full puppy, you know how your dogs do it. The chest goes down towards the ground, the hips tip up, activate your abs. So if you feel any pain in the shoulders or neck, just keep backing it up to that point where you feel no pain, but you feel challenged. Grip your fingers. And walk your hands back into you. So we're going to grab our blocks here. And we're just going to tuck our toes. So there's a couple ways you can do this. If you wanted to be in table and tuck your toes and then kind of lean back and stretch your arches that way, you could do it that way. If you wanted to, you can bring the blocks underneath your shoulders and sit up straight and tuck your toes that way. That way you can lift the weight off those feet so it's not so intense, right? Give it a few breaths here. Out of the way of this broken mirror. Does mean we're going to have 7 years bad luck? What's going on here? All right. So go ahead and come out of that. We're going to have the hands, just push up from your blocks or your hands, doesn't matter. And we'll go to a lengthened spine, a flat back here. Hands underneath your shoulders. Oh, yes, hands underneath your shoulders on the blocks, or if you want to bring your arms out, you could, right? All right, go ahead and come over to a forward fold. So round over, tuck your chin. Still use your blocks here, hands underneath your shoulders. Shift your weight over the balls of the feet, crown of the head going towards the ground. Hips are high. You can bend your knees if you need to. And just breathe here. Notice where you could breathe. Notice where you feel the stretch. Breathe into that place. Talk to yourself. Soften. Release. Let go. And bend your knees and come up with a neutral spine. Take a breath in. Head to heart center. So, do mountain pose here. And then we'll get into some sun salutations. So if you want to bring your blocks up to the front of the mat, you could. So let's think about mountain foot pose first. So your feet are right underneath your hip bones, palms forward or facing your thighs. Just to lift up through those legs. Wrap the legs around. Feel that lifting from the arch all the way up. Palms forward or facing your thighs. Shoulders over hips. And stay here for a moment. Go ahead and lift up your toes. Feel the inner outer edges of your feet. And then put your toes back down. Gently grip the floor as long as we're standing. Give it a few breaths here. Strong mountain pose. Take a breath in. And breath out. Take a breath in, arms overhead. Look up at your fingers, or you can do a little baby back bend. Squeeze the butt to protect your back. Exhale. Reach forward, inhale. Bend your knees if you need to. Forward fold, exhale. Hands on your shins, inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Stepping back to a plank position, push-up position. Hollow out the front of the body. So we're going to stay here for a few counts. So if you want to come to your knees or come to your forearms, you could. All the same alignment things, no matter what position you're in, apply. So first, number one, hollow out the front of the body. 2, look past the mat, keeping the head in line with the spine. 3, creases of your elbows face each other so you don't lock out your arms. 4, grip your fingers. Take the weight out of the wrist. 5, breathe. Don't hold your breath. 6, belly button, spine, kegel muscles engaged. 7, breathe. 8, feel that connection from the crown of the head all the way to the tips of the toes. 9. And 10. Drop to your knees, hug your body with your elbows, lower the floor. So we're just going to bring up the upper back here. Bring your arms off the ground, palms down, elbows close to the body. Bringing the shoulder blades towards one another. And just stay here for a couple of breaths, noticing where you can breathe. Upper body, back, sides. Kind of hard to breathe in the belly here. All right, hands underneath your shoulders, push back, tuck toes, hips up and back, down dog. So, chest towards your thigh, chins towards your chest, heels towards the floor. Push away from the wrist and the forearms, grip your fingers. And breathe. Now, if down dog's not feeling so great for you, you can always go back to child pose or table, whatever works for you, right? Whatever works for you today, that's the thing you do. Give me about 3 breaths in and out through the nose, belly to throat. Walk your feet underneath you. Hands on your shins, inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees, come up with a flat back, inhale. And it's a heart center. Let's go again, inhale. Arms overhead, baby back bend, exhale. Reach forward, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Hands on your shins, inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Stepping back to that plank position, that push-up position again. Again, we'll hold it for a moment, or we'll do mountain climbers. So knee towards opposite elbow. So we're not twisting the spine at all here, just an inward rotation of the leg. And if you don't like to do that, remember you can go down to your forearms or down to your knees in the hold if you don't want to do it this way. All right. Take a breath in, come up to your toes, drop to your knees, hug your body with your elbows lower. So this time we'll come up to cobra, hands underneath your shoulders, and push up with the upper body. Shoulders away from your ears, right? Tighten the butt to protect the back. We'll hold that for a couple of breaths. Come on back down, give yourself a little push off, tuck toes, hips up and back, down dog. 5 breaths in and out through your nose, belly to throat. Remember, you can bend your knees. You can take your legs a little wider if you want to. Lengthen the spine. Chest towards the thighs. Chin towards the chest. Heels towards the floor. We're externally rotating our shoulders a little bit, which just means pointing your elbows a little bit towards the mat. It's a subtle move, a small move. All right, walk your feet underneath you. Hands on your shins, inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees, come up with a flat back, inhale. And some heart center. Take a breath, reclaim your mountain. Here we go again, inhale. Take a back bend, exhale. Reach forward, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Stepping back with your right leg this time into a runner's lunge. So check your knee ankle alignment and drop that knee, relax the foot into the floor. If you want to, you can grab your blocks, put them underneath your shoulders, and just let the hip relax here for a minute. So check your knee ankle alignment, super important. Right leg, right knee just slides back a little bit. All right, come back to your plank position, push-up position, hollow out the front of the body. Coming up to the toes, we're not going to hold it this time. Drop to the knees, hug the body with the elbows, lower the floor. Coming up to cobra, and then push back to down dog. Give it 5 breaths, in and out through your nose, belly to throat. ahead and bring your right leg up. Open up the hip a little bit. And we'll swoop the leg through to where your hands are. Runner's lunge. And we'll go ahead and step that back foot in just a little bit and walk up the leg, warrior one. So, we're keeping the back foot, the toes are pointed forward this time, the heel is up in the back. This will help us keep our hips even a little bit easier on this one. Knee over ankle, shoulders down. All right, come on back down. Hollow out the front of the body. Coming up to the toes, drop to the knees, hug the body with the elbows, lower to the floor. Coming up to cobra, push back to down dog. Go ahead and step it in. Head underneath you. Forward fold. And then bend your knees, come up with a flat back and hands to hearts in. Let's go again, inhale. Maybe back bend, exhale. Reach forward, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Stepping back with the left leg in a runner's lunge. Move into that lunge, drop the knee, relax the foot. Use your blocks if you want to. And settle in for a little stretch. Get some deep breath here. All right, go ahead and step back into your plank position. Hollow out the front of the body, coming up to the toes, drop to the knees, hug the body with the elbows, lower to the floor, coming up to cobra or up dog this time. Creases the elbows face each other. Tuck toes, hips up and back, down dog. Give it a few breaths here. In and out through your nose, belly to throat. Trying to lengthen that spine. Chest towards your thighs. Go ahead and bring up the left leg this time. Open up the hip. Chest towards your thigh. Now go ahead and bring the leg through to where your hands are. Help it if you need to. We're in a runner's lunge on the left side. Knee over ankle. We're going to step that back foot in maybe just a little bit and walk up the leg for warrior one. So check your hips, are they in line? Check the knee, is it over the ankle? Push into your feet, ground through the floor. Power. All right, come on back down. Hollow out the front of the body, we're back in that plank push-up position. Come up to the toes, drop to the knees, hug the body with the elbows, lower to the floor, coming up to cobra or up dog. All the way up, tuck toes, hips up and back, down dog. Give it a few breaths here. Notice where you're feeling your breath. Expand. All right, walk your feet underneath you. Hands on your shins, inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees, come up with a flat back. So take a drink if you need a drink. And we'll go, let's take a drink. So we're going into warrior two. So we're going to line up, step back with your right leg. We're going to line up our heels the best we can here. If you need to open up a little more, that's fine. Just don't cross behind, right? So back foot's turned in a little bit. It's not totally 90 degrees, right? It's turned in, back heel's turned in so you can keep that knee over your ankle. Arms over legs. We'll stay here for about 6 breaths. First, let's do a little flow. Knee over, knee tracks over first, second, third toe. Follow your breath. Inhale when you straighten, exhale when you bend. So we'll go ahead and stay here in warrior two for about 6 breaths. Push into the back edge of that foot, back foot. That's going to give you a lot of stability. Shoulders over hips. the front knee bent. We're going to pivot on that back foot. All right. So step in with your back foot just a little bit. So back foot's turned out about 45 degrees. You got your hips in line. We're going to do revolve triangle. So take a breath in. First, come to a flat back. You're going to need your blocks. So we're going to put a couple blocks on the inside of the left foot. Is where we're going with that. If you need a block. You might not need a block, but I like to use them. I like them there if I need them. So activate the abs here. Feel the energy coming out the fingers, out the toes, out the crown of the head, and this lengthened flat back we've got going on. Energy coming out the tailbone, the crown, the fingers, and then go on over, round over to pyramid pose. So we're rounding over, rounding the shoulders, looking at the knee. So think about also keeping those hips in line. So you might have to pull that left hip back a little bit, push the right hip forward a little bit. If you need to bend that front knee, that's fine, right? So let's go ahead and put our right hand on the block, right hand on two blocks on the inside of your left foot. Left hand comes to the hip. We're going to rotate to the left, starting from the navel, the ribs, the chest, shoulder, and the head and the arm if you want to add. Keep lifting your chest, lengthening your spine. All right, come on back, hand to hip, and round back over into that pyramid pose. Hands underneath your shoulders. And come on up with a flat back inhale. That's it. Let's do the other side. Step back. First we have to go into warrior two. So let's go into warrior two first. So line up your heels, knee over ankle, arms over legs, pushing into the back edge of that back foot. So let's just do a little flow first. Bend and straighten. Exhale when you bend, inhale when you straighten. Follow your breath. So let's stay here for 6 breaths. If you feel pain in your shoulders, drop your arms, right? You don't have to have your arms up. Don't be in pain. So we're going to go ahead and pivot on that back foot. Step the foot in just a little bit. We're step it back about a leg's length on that left side. Back foot's turned out about 45. Hips are in line. Take a breath in. Come to a flat back. So if you need to use your blocks for a flat back, you know you can, right? You can bring your hand blocks underneath your shoulders, right, and do your flat back that way. So do what's right for you today. Activate the abs, grip the toes, right? Pull that right hip back, push that left hip forward. That's what you're going to want to do with your reverse triangle. All right, come on down, round over, pyramid pose, looking at the knee. Remember, you can bend that front knee if that feels better. Rounding the shoulders. All right, so we're going to put the blocks on the inside of the right foot. Left hand underneath left shoulder, right hand on right hip. I'm going to rotate to the right, starting from the belly, the ribs, chest, shoulders, and then the head and the arm. Keep lengthening and lifting the spine, lengthening, lifting the chest. Open the heart towards that right side. All right, hand back to the hip. You can take the blocks on either side, round over for pyramid pose again. And if you want to, you can bend that right knee to come up with a flat back. Inhale. All right, so we're gonna come on down to the floor. Let's do one balance before we come down to the floor. We'll do a flamingo pose. So go ahead and you can line up your knees, and the ball of the foot can be on the floor. The right arm can be up. That can be your flamingo right there. You don't have to go any further than that. It's always good to come back to that. You need to reset if you start to flail. So you can lift up your foot and stay here, or you can grab the inside of the right foot. Keep the knees in line. Reaching that left arm's reaching overhead. Find a focal point about 4 to 6 feet in front of you. You're not dropping your head, but you're dropping the eye gaze. Don't let your mind move, right? Just hold on to that focal point. Think of nothing else. Shake it out a little bit. Let's try the other side. Remember, you can always go back to that reset place here. This is, you're working on balance just fine with your knees lined up and the ball of the foot on the floor. Believe me, you're totally working on balance. Can't even stand in that position right now. All right, go ahead, lift the foot or grab the inside of the foot. Keep the knees in line. Find your focal point. Tighten the pelvic floor. Lift the pelvic floor. Feel the energy going out the fingers, grounding through the floor. Coming out the crown of the head. The energy doesn't stop. Moves through you. You don't stop. You let it go through you. Alright, we'll let that go. Take it out. Alright, now we'll come to the ground. Take a breath in. Come on over, take a breath out, grab your elbows, do a little ragdoll stretch, and come on down to the ground. So, we're gonna take the blocks behind us, and we're gonna sit on our heels. And we're just going to lift the thighs up, push the thighs forward. So the blocks are underneath our shoulders, right? Pushing the hips forward, squeezing the butt. And you come back down, give yourself a little break. So we're in hero pose. We're sitting on our heels. Are you okay?
I think I have vertigo.
Oh, shit.
No, I have vertigo. I never had it before, but I just goes. Just go ahead, I'll just be calm.
You want to try to lay back, maybe? Lay down on your
Yeah.
back? See if we're laying like in a like fetal pose, maybe fetal, lay on your side or something. It's on this, see if they're laying back. Then I'll walk see you. Tell me, say, I can help, and I'll do this. It's okay. Don't hold back. All right. Okay. All right. So let's try that one more time. So just push our hips forward, box our back. And then we'll come on back down. All right. So we're gonna try let's try let's not try that right now. All right, let's go back into puppy pose. So we're gonna stretch in puppy pose one more time. So walk your arms out, head between your arms. And remember, we have that lengthened spine, if that feels good, or if you want to chest towards the floor, hips high. And go ahead and walk those hands back. All right. Let's just get used to it. A lot of times moving from one position to another. You don't want to move too fast from one position to another. So this alligator pose. So just go ahead and put your head down and just get used to this. we do our back work, just notice where you feel any movement or sensations in the body. All right, so now we're going to bring the hands back down by our thighs, palms down, forehead on the floor. So push your hips to the floor, squeeze your butt, and just lift your upper body. So notice where you can breathe here. It's hard to breathe in the belly, so the chest, the back, the sides of the body. And let that go. Go ahead and lay on your cheekbones. Turn your palms up towards the ceiling and round your shoulders towards the mat. And as you round those shoulders towards the mat, you might feel a little lengthening in the lower spine. Alright, go ahead and put the palms down again next to your sides. And we're on the forehead. Push the hips into the floor. Squeeze the butt, lift the upper body again. This time, either clasp behind or do the ball or imaginary ball, press the big ball. And we're going to open up to the right. Open the right shoulder, inhale. Back to center, exhale. Open to the left, inhale. Back to center, exhale. Keep going, about 3 rounds. Follow your breath. Inhale on the twist. Back to center, exhale. And we'll let that go. Go ahead and lay on your other cheekbone. Turn your palms up towards the ceiling and round your shoulders towards the mat. Try to let go as much as you can. Front here so you can see about the hands. So one way, the hands are going to be down underneath your thighs and wiggle your elbows and everything underneath you. And that might be too much for some people's wrists or elbows. If that's right, then you're going to turn the palms up and make a fist and then put them underneath your thighs. So either way, palms or turn the palms down. Whatever way works for your wrists and elbows and shoulders. So we're on our chin now. Push the hips into the ground, and we'll just lift up the right leg. So, toss the foot facing the floor, so the hips are turned out. Push the hips into the ground, and they're going to want to come up. Isolate right where the thigh and the butt meet. Breathe. Point your toe. Feel like somebody's got your ankle, elongating your leg. And change leg. Left leg up, push the hips down. And let that go. Go ahead and take the arms out. We'll lift up the upper body and the thighs. A little bit off the floor. Palms out. If it feels better, look down. Look down. Whatever works for your neck. Let that go. Go ahead and put the hands underneath the chin and lift up the knees. Go over the windshield wiper a little bit. And so one more pose here. We're going to do both poses. So I'm going to show you a couple of different ways to do it. So ankles stay over your knees, flex your feet, and you can reach for your ankles, right? Lift in the upper body. You can grab the ankles, push the hips to the floor, and lift the upper body. You can lift up the thighs. Do full bow, right? So flex your feet pointed towards the ceiling, chin towards the back wall. But if you feel any pinpoint sensation or pain or anything, do one of the other ways, right? All right, come on down. Hands underneath your chin, windshield wiper. And we'll push back to child pose. Knees wide, big toes together, set your hips back towards your heels, exhale. All right, come on up, and we'll do, let's do pigeon pose. So I'm gonna show you a couple different ways to do this. First, we're gonna start with pinwheel pose. It's a modification for a pigeon. So if you know your pigeon, you know where to go, and you wanna just go in there, just go on in. So if you're doing pinwheel, you like make your legs like an L shape, bend that left knee pointed towards the left corner of the mat, the right foot's back, point that toe, don't flex it, right? And then we're just gonna lay on the inside of the left leg. If you normally go to pigeon and you don't do pinwheel, you should try it because it really does a different opening. It's a little bit of a different opening than pigeon. So I like to try them all because they all open up a little bit, places a little bit different. Now if you want to go into pigeon, straighten that right leg and turn the foot over, right? Now you might find that that's too much and you might need to block that right hip, right? And you could. You can block the right hip, you can flex the foot behind you and get a tremendous stretch. You can come over. You guys all seem to know where you're going, so I'm not going to talk anymore. So let's just relax here in pigeon or pinwheel. So you're on the inside of that left knee. You're turning the right hip down a little bit. You keep all that weight on the left side though. You're still staying on your left hip. You can always use your arms out in front of you and kind of help you to be able to rotate that right hip down towards the ground a little bit. That just gives you a little deeper stretch. A lot of times we get in this pose and we just want to relax, and that's fine too. Just notice where you feel any tension. Try to breathe into that space. Try to soften, let go, release. All right, hands underneath your shoulders, coming up, belly, ribs, chest, chin. Roll over onto your left side. And we'll try it all on the left side, or the right side. It's the left side. All right, so right knee pointed towards right corner of the mat. We've got an L shape. If we're doing pinwheel, we have an L shape, and we lay on the inside of our right leg. If we're going into pigeon, we straighten that left leg, turn the foot over. We could put a block underneath our right hip if that felt better, right? So we're keeping all that weight on that right hip, but we're also trying to turn that left hip down towards the ground a little bit to get a little extra. Notice where you feel the resistance in the body. Try to send the breath there. Maybe even an image or anything that helps you to let go and relax. Soften. Hands underneath your shoulders, coming up, belly, ribs, chest, chin. Roll over onto your right hip. Come on out. Okay, all right. So, yeah, we'll do staff pose. So, I don't know if everybody has a strap, but it's easier if you have a strap to do it. But if you don't, that's okay. So if you have a strap the balls of your feet. I like using a strap because it helps people to flex their feet, and I notice people don't want to flex their feet very much. So shoulders over hips, lift up nice and tall. Almost feel like you're leaning back, chest lifted. Feeling top of those sit bones, right? Take a couple of nice big deep breaths. Shoulders down, away from your ears. That go. All right. We're gonna do a twist, a seated twist. So we're gonna cross cross the right leg over the left. Now you can also put the leg on the inside of the knee or the outside of the knee, whichever feels best for you. Wrap the left arm around, right hand behind. So take a breath in, get nice and tall before you twist, and then start from the bottom to the top. Belly, ribs, chest, shoulders, head on the exhale. So if you wanted to, you can go into Lord of the Fishes, which is just bringing the elbow to the outside of the knee and pressing into the thigh with the arm. That just gets a little bit more into the upper back too. So whatever way you want to do it's fine. Breathe into the spine. Breathe into wherever you feel it. If you need to back up a little bit, back up. Pressing into that right foot. That's going to help you to activate your hips more too. By pressing into that right foot, then you're stretching those hips a little bit more too. And let that go. Now let's try the other side. So cross, remember you can do it on the inside of the knee or you can cross over, whichever way works for you. Wrap the left arm around, left hand behind. Flex that right foot nice and tall on top of the sit bones. Inhale. Exhale from the bottom to the top. Belly, ribs, chest, shoulders, and then the head. Press into that ball of the left foot. Nice and tall. Try not to lean back or lean forward. Right on top of those sit bones. If you want to bring the elbow to the outside of that left knee, you could for Lord of the Fishes. Pushing your arm into your thigh to help give you a little better twist in the upper body. Got a right angle with that arm. Alright, we'll let that go. So let's just take a forward fold over. So just take a breath in and just come on over, take a breath out. So if you want to bend your knees here, you can bend your knees. Round your shoulders, look at your knees, whatever position. This is a nice loose position. Soften, let go. But if you need to bend your knees more, bend your knees, right? The more you bend your knees, the more stretch in the lower back too. So if you need more of a stretch in your lower back, just keep bending those knees and put your chest up against your thighs, and you'll get a good lower back stretch. Go. So, all right, so go ahead and take the block, and we're going to come down onto our backs. So first, let's just get used to being on your back. So go ahead and bring your knees up, feet flat on the floor. And we're going to take our block and put it on a low level, and we're going to put it underneath our hips. So don't move your head. Your head needs to just keep looking at the ceiling, right? Don't look right or left here. Just put the block on a low level on your hips. See how that feels. If it doesn't feel good, you can always go and do a regular bridge pose where you're rolling up the spine, right? Just take your time, breathe in, and then roll back down. So if you don't want to do it with the block, you could do the bridge pose, rolling back and up and down. But if you have a block there, you can kind of just let go. Hopefully it feels okay. Just give you a little decompression in the spine. Keep your knees over your ankles. Toes pointing forward. Lift up your hips and take out the block. So we're going to do a trunk twist. So go ahead and bring your knees towards your chest and rock a little bit. And we're just going to rock over to the right side in the fetal position. So keep your knees bent, stack your knees, stack your ankles, stack your shoulders, bring your hands out in front of you, clap your hands. The shoulders are kind of hard to line up, but do the best you can. So the only thing that's different about the fetal position here is we're not going to round the back. The back is straight, the head is on top of the spine. So we have a nice straight back. We're going to bring the left hand to the left ribs. You can hold the knees together with the right hand if you wanted to. Take a breath in. As you take a breath out, we're going to move to the left, starting from the navel, the ribs, the chest, shoulders, and then the head and the arm. Now, if it bothers you to look over the shoulder, just look up at the ceiling. If it bothers your shoulder to your arm be extended, you can take the arm back towards the butt or back to the ribs. For about a few breaths here to reset the spine. All right, let's change. Let's go to the other side. So line up your knees, line up your shoulders, line up your ankles. Bring your right hand to your ribs, left hand to your knees. You want to hold your knees together. Take a breath in, and you do want to hold your knees together. So anyway, rotate it to the right, starting from the belly, the ribs, chest, shoulders, head, and the arm. Breathe in to wherever it feels tight. Hand back to the ribs and back. I'm sorry, not back to the ribs. Back over. Go ahead and round back over to the other side. Go ahead and come back to your back. Bring your knees towards your chest. Just rock a little bit. And go ahead and go into Savasana. So we're going to take the legs wide and wider than your hips. Let your feet fall out to the side. Palms are up about 45 degrees from your thighs. Now once you get into this position, if you decide this is not good for your lower back, you can bring your knees up, pigeon toe your toes, let your knees fall together. So do what's good for your back, right? So start to take a big breath in and a big sigh out. Just let it all out. So starting at the top of the head, just notice any sensations or pulsations you might feel at the crown of the head, top of the head, forehead, temples, back of the head touching the ground. Any sensations or pulsations you might feel. Softening the shoulders, elbows, wrists, fingers. Noticing your right armpit, right waist, right hip. Relaxing your whole right leg. Noticing the top of the foot, the bottom of the foot, and the ankle. Noticing your right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and fifth toe. Noticing your left armpit, left waist, left hip. Relaxing your whole left leg. Noticing the top of the foot, bottom of the foot, the ankle. Noticing your left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and fifth toe. With each breath, letting go a little bit more. If you're thinking about the next thing you're going to do today, maybe breathe between the eyebrows, third eye, a little bit above between the eyebrows. Breathe into that space. Try to help you stay in this moment, this moment, this moment. Bring a little movement back to your fingers and your toes. Any movement that feels good to you. Maybe reaching overhead, take a long stretch. Take a deep breath in. Wake up the body. Bring the knees towards the chest and rock a little bit. When you're ready, rock over to the right or to the left in the fetal position. Stay there for a couple of breaths before you come up. Down, just take your time in getting up, and if you're up, bring your arms overhead, take a breath in, hands to heart center, take a breath out. Maybe be filled with loving kindness, maybe be safe from danger, inward and outward, maybe be well, body, mind, and spirit. Thank you guys for sharing your practice with me today. It's my honor. Namaste. Have a good cold day, I guess. Put your winter coat on. You can still go out and take a walk. People from the north are laughing at us, right? We're big jokes to them. We're always like, come on, man. You don't know what cold is. I really don't.
I was up there. I was up from Maine.
Oh, gosh, you know what cold is.
Thanks. And I know. I was there for 27 years.